That Sober Guy podcast contains adult content, merciless truth, and emotional nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm Shane Ramer. You're listening to That Sober Guy podcast, and we help people stay sober. If it's your first time listening, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here today. If you want to quit drinking and find a path to becoming a better father, husband, entrepreneur, or leader in your community, you can check out our one-on-one private coaching options, our mastermind groups, and all of our other podcasts and resources by going to thatsoberguy.com. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at That Sober Guy Podcast. Shout out to Humans Music for bringing us in today. Love those guys. And speaking of shout outs, let's do sober shout outs today. We got Darren. Congratulations, Darren, on 6 months, baby. I love it. My good buddy Ray, celebrating 3 years at the beginning of August. It's amazing. Shout out to Ray. And then a huge shout out to Mark, celebrating 30 days today. Congratulations, fellas. Always love hearing about the wins and celebrating those wins. So I hope you all did something fun to celebrate yourselves. And, those goals we meet and those accomplishments are so important, not only to attain, but also to celebrate as well. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, how accountability falls into that, how goal setting falls into that, and how mastermind groups can help you grow and help you become the man with purpose that maybe you've been looking to find within yourself. It's in there, I promise you. I knew it was in there with me. I'm still learning as I go, but I knew back in the day when I was considering making some changes in my life, how important it was to me to find purpose in what I was doing and where I was going and how I was leading my family. And one of the things that helped me to do that, and there was many of them, but one of them was mastermind groups. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that today. This episode's titled 5 Reasons Every Man Should Be a Part of a Sober Mastermind Group. And to kick this off, I thought to myself, well, I know what a mastermind group is. And I'm sure there's other dudes out there who've probably even heard the term before, but maybe they go, well, what is exactly a mastermind group? And so here's kind of the corporate definition. Then I'll talk a little bit about my experience personally being a part of and leading both ends of the spectrum, mastermind, a couple of different mastermind groups. And then we'll talk about those 5 reasons why you might want to consider joining one. And of course, who are they for? Like, who is a mastermind group for? So what is it? First of all, a mastermind group is a concept popularized by Napoleon Hill in his book, Think and Grow Rich. And so if you haven't read that book, and especially if you have that entrepreneur mindset, it's a great book. I think it was written back in the 20s, somewhere around there. But basically Napoleon Hill was the author, and he went around to like 100 of the top entrepreneurs and business owners, from JP Chase there's just a list. I don't even remember all of them. There's a list of a lot that he spoke with, and he kind of formed this this mentality of learning from some of the best from their perspective. What were they doing? And you can take that concept and really apply it to almost anything. And, sobriety, quitting drinking, although the tip of the spear and trying to find and lead purposeful lives, cutting that out for me was one of the biggest things that I did to jump onto that path. But back to the book real quick, Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read it, definitely recommend it. Refers to a group of individuals who come together regularly to support each other in achieving their goals, solving their problems, and improving themselves both personally and professionally. So if you've heard that term, iron sharpens iron, that's a big one with a lot of men's groups out there. Iron sharpens iron. And that is what the concept of a mastermind group is. We get to learn from each other. We get to share with each other. We get to give each other feedback. We get to strengthen each other. We get to support each other. We get to set goals and have accountability. So many great things in relationships, build relationships, real relationships, both personally, professionally. It's just a great thing to be a part of if you're looking to grow. So mastermind groups are, it's not a normal thing for a lot of dudes to like. There's, some dudes probably never heard of it, and I'll just say people in general, maybe that's something that is you're a bit apprehensive about. Like, what is that? It's out of your comfort zone, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And most guys do a lot of the same things. We like routine, and some of us even like a mundane routine because it's comfortable. And that unfortunately is probably not going to be the recipe for success if you're joining a mastermind group. If you like that mundane, kind of comfortable, same old routine type of thing, you're not into growing. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that either. So that's, Jess and I actually just had this conversation about something similar. Everyone's on a different path, and some people, that's what they're looking for. And that's completely fine. If that's you, it's a mastermind group, probably not for you. If you're somebody who is trying to find purpose, trying to find more, trying to grow, trying to forge new relationships and be held accountable, set goals, you like being in the lane of being a little bit uncomfortable because that's where you grow in this short ass life that we're in, then maybe a mastermind group might be for you. And at the, kind of the top of that, as I mentioned, a sober mastermind group, one of the main things for this sober mastermind group would be 90 days of no alcohol. So a really good spot to be in if that's something that you're looking for. You can have the accountability of quitting alcohol, giving it up for at least minimum 90 days, finding accountability, support, and all the other things that come with it too. So my guess is, though, if you're listening to this, you probably are looking for something more. You're probably looking for some purpose. You're probably either already not drinking or you're considering it and you're thinking about taking that next step, and you want to see what it's like living free from alcohol. And it really is freedom. Like when I think about it, it's the old ball and chain sometimes. And I know for me, I felt like it was attached to my ankle, for so many years, especially in the last couple of years. And I was having to drag it around everywhere. And sometimes I could pick it up and carry it and it wasn't as heavy. And then sometimes, man, I was just chained to that thing, stuck in the ground in the same place and just feeling like I wasn't progressing, feeling like I wanted to change, but didn't know, which way to go. And so maybe you're in a similar spot. Maybe you felt like that. I can tell you a mastermind group is a great place to start if you're looking for something more and to help with some of the stuff that you're feeling. So I wanted to share a little bit of my personal experience with a couple of different mastermind groups, just briefly, and then we'll get into these five reasons why everyone, every man should at least consider joining a mastermind group and seeing what it's a part of. I have been a part of a couple of them. The first one that I was ever a part of was with a friend of mine, Larry Hagner, who owns the Dad's Edge. And Dad's Edge is a podcast platform, coaching platform, mastermind group platform. I think Larry does the Dad's Edge Summit every year. And so you got a lot of great dudes in there. Larry was into this years ago, and he had asked me to join one of his groups. This was probably, back in 2017, 2018-ish, maybe right around that time. I think there was 8 of us in the group, 8 or 10 maybe. And it was my first experience. I didn't really know what a mastermind group was. I think at that point, I had read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich at that time. I think I had to go kind of freshen up on it. I had read it a couple of years prior to that. So I was familiar with it. I was familiar with the term of a mastermind and the concept of it, that iron sharpens iron, but I had never really experienced it in that setting before. And it was one of the most eye-opening experiences I think that I had, where I found this new type of fellowship from different dudes that we had things in common. And this wasn't a sober mastermind group, by the way. However, there were quite a few dudes in there who were sober and who didn't drink. So it wasn't specific to that. It was specific to just men and personal growth at the same time, you know, trying to be better dads, better husbands, all that kind of stuff too, which I think it falls right in line with trying to cut out drinking, trying to, alleviate some of that, some of those bad habits that we can tend to fall into over the years. So it was a great experience. I met some great dudes in there. As a matter of fact, I met this dude, Walter, and he was actually from Chico. I don't know if he's still up in Chico these days, but one of the things that's funny is Walter and I had only met digitally, like through the, because we would do the meetings online, and we were all 10 of us or 8 of us were all over the place. Walter happened to be close by me. And so, you meet these new friends and you got, great conversation and learn from each other and all this stuff. And then one day, like this is a couple years later, the mastermind group has been over by this time. And I'm out in the middle of the Sierra Nevadas on a hiking trail, probably 5 miles out in the middle of nowhere, outside of Truckee. And all of a sudden I'm walking and there's another group walking towards us on this trail. You're lucky if you see anyone out there. And I'm walking by this guy and we're like, oh, hey, there's some other hikers or whatever. Oh, that's cool. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? And he goes, Shane? And I'm like, Walter? Like, holy crap, dude. Like, are you kidding me right now? So I end up seeing Walter out in the middle of nowhere in the woods, which is just super ironic and kind of crazy. But it was a neat moment, just to go, man, dude, how you doing? And catch up a little bit. We kind of shared that experience. You open up in some of these types of things. You're sharing things where there's a lot of vulnerability involved, and you're sharing things that you've been through in your life that have been really tough or were really tough, or things you're going through that are really tough. And so you form these relationships, and it's one of the coolest things about it. And so to see him in person was kind of cool, like I said, and it was just kind of crazy at the same time. So Larry's group is kind of where I started. It was a great experience, kind of kicked it off for me. And then as I continued to, do Sober Guy over the years, we started a mastermind group called Spark. And I think we started Spark in 2021, right around there. And it was myself, my buddy Brian, Static, who's been on the podcast a few times, my buddy Ray, who's I had mentioned celebrating 3 years here without alcohol, Ed, Roland, Alex, man. And it was a really, it was just a really great group. And occasionally we'll still link up and chat. We don't meet weekly, like we were for a long time. But it was a really great group. And it also, there's almost everyone in that group, I think, was either sober or quit drinking at some point throughout the process of that, mastermind group. And that's where Ray, and I should have Ray on the podcast at some point, and I think I'll do that. I'll try to set that up as we kind of get ready to launch into this fall mastermind group, so you can hear a little bit about his experience and what that was like for him, and how the group really was a huge piece of the puzzle for him, cutting out alcohol, making changes in his life, both personally and professionally, growing, strengthening his spiritual relationship, just strengthening his relationship with friends, and being able to step out and meet new friends. And look, today he's celebrating 3 years, or just celebrated 3 years alcohol free. And so he'd be a great one to hear from on what that was like for him, kind of how he did it, and just sharing some other experience as well. So the Spark Mastermind Group, great one. Talked about so much stuff in that, from entrepreneurship to survival, just being out in the woods and backpacking and hiking and trying to do different things to kind of get back to the roots of being a man and being outdoors, and not just only being stuck on technology and devices these days. That was always a fun part of it. Just so much stuff to talk about, so much stuff to learn from. And both those experiences for me, both great experiences, and fun at the same time too. So who is a mastermind group for? We kind of talked about this a little bit. A mastermind group is typically for individuals who are motivated to improve themselves personally, professionally, or both. And then here are some key groups of people who often benefit from participating in mastermind groups. We got to, let's see, what do we got here? Entrepreneurs and business owners. Obviously, people, I should say first and foremost, people who'd like to cut out alcohol and learn a little bit about what that does to them, why they're feeling the way they feel, and how to do it. And that kind of bleeds into the everyday life, because different people with different careers, different situations, different relationships they're in, a lot of them have those different things together, but they have that one thing in common. They can't quit drinking, or they want to and they don't know how. And so that goes for entrepreneurs, business owners, professionals, executives, creatives and artists, individuals that are just looking to develop personally, even students or academics, health and wellness people who are into working out and being healthy and doing all that, which is amazing as we continue to get older and our bodies and our minds change. And then those just seeking community and seeking some support. They want some accountability. They want to meet some people. They want that social aspect as well. Masterminds are a great way to find that. So who are they for? A mastermind group is really for anyone who values personal growth, learning from others, and achieving their own goals with some accountability in a supportive and collaborative environment, a fun environment where we can be ourselves, we can be creative, we can be open and express ourselves. So really great platform to learn about and to be a part of. And that's why we're talking about today 5 reasons every man should be part of a sober mastermind group. And let's go down these quick 5 real quick, and then we'll talk about a little bit about the mastermind group we're going to be launching here coming up in the fall, and if you want to be a part of it, and how you can apply and put an application in there to join. So participating in sober mastermind groups can be highly beneficial for men for several reasons. Number 1, accountability. Okay, accountability. Being part of a sober mastermind group provides accountability, helping individuals stay committed to their sobriety goals through regular check-ins and support from peers. So that's a huge part of it. And not just that, accountability not only goes for the drinking aspect of it, the sobriety goals, right? So maybe that's one of your goals. Maybe in the one session, at the end of the session, we go, okay, hey, we're doing takeaways. Everyone goes down and says what their goal is, and you're held accountable to that the following week. Nobody wants to be the guy that shows up and says, I was going to do X, Y, and Z. And they go, hey, Shane, did you do X, Y, and Z? And you go, no, I did. You don't want to do that. You want to be held accountable. You want to meet your goals. Now, sometimes stuff happens and, we get a little off track, and we go, man, something came up. It's not about perfection, but it's about intention. And so my intention going into this is to set goals, meet those goals, and my peers to hold me accountable so I can meet those. And you're creating a roadmap ahead. You're looking out 90 days. You're looking out 6 months. You're looking out a year, if that's what you intend to. You're setting those goals. That's up to you, what kind of things you want to set, what kind of goals you want to set. But that could be other things as well. And it doesn't have to always be serious stuff too. You go, hey, you know what? One of the things I'm lacking in my life right now, I'm a professional. I'm really busy with work. I'm really busy taking care of my family. One of the things is I don't set enough time aside for myself. So one of my goals this week, guys, is, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but I want to play golf 2 times next month. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to set those goals right. And I'm just giving you an example real quick of it could be many different things, right? And so, I'm going to play golf 2 times. So that month goes by, and then on that date, whatever that goal is, they go, hey, Shane, accountability real quick. Did you play golf 2 times last month? Did you meet your goal? Oh, yeah, I did. Awesome. Good. Actually, I played 3 times. Oh man, even better. You're taking some time for yourself. You set that aside, you set that goal, and you met it. So just a little example of the accountability piece of a mastermind group, and kind of what that looks like and why it's so important, whether it's from drinking, playing golf, having a better marriage, a date night with your wife. Maybe that's one of your goals. Maybe it's to read to your kid at bedtime. Hey, I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to read the Action Bible with my son, 3 nights a week, this week in particular. I want to do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, cool. Boom. Did you meet that following week? You want to meet those goals, and they're so important. That accountability is so important. All right, number 2, peer support. Peer support. It offers a community of like-minded individuals who understand the challenges of maintaining sobriety. This support network can provide encouragement during difficult times and celebrate success together. So whenever we're in, it goes back to that iron sharpens iron. Whenever we're in community, whenever we're in an environment with like-minded people who are all have one thing in common, like in a group like this, we're all going to have one thing in common. We're either not drinking, for some time, or there may be, a little mix of both. People who are someone who's, stopped right now. This is their day 1 or week 1, or they're going 90 days first. It just kind of depends on the dynamic there. And it's the same. You all have the same thing in common, though, is what I was saying, or what I was getting at. And when you do that, and you set that community together, and you rely on each other, and you have that peer-to-peer support, it's huge. That's the fellowship. That is that fellowship aspect of it. And you grow and you build relationships, and you talk about things, and you feel like you're supported. A lot of the time, and this is okay. One of the hardest things sometimes is, let's say you have a good family structure, you have a good friend structure, you have good friends, you have good community. A lot of the time, they don't understand what you're going through. They don't understand, the ones who love us most sometimes, that you're actually struggling, let's just say, with alcohol. They don't get that. And that's okay. It's not their fault. It's nobody's fault. It just is. And so sometimes when you have to step out, you have to get a little bit uncomfortable. You got to meet new people and be around different people who are like-minded. It doesn't mean that you're not still don't love your family and your friends, and you're not still around them, but you're also finding a different aspect that you can grow into and be yourself a little bit and talk about those things that maybe your loved ones, your close ones, they might not understand, all of them. And that's okay. So that's what that peer support offers. It's that community aspect of like-minded individuals, and it's a huge part of it. Number 3, personal growth. Personal growth. We're talking about 5 reasons every man should be a part of a sober mastermind group. Number 3 is personal growth, and that's engaging in discussions and activities within the group, which fosters personal growth. Members can learn from each other's experiences. They can gain new perspectives, and they can also develop coping strategies for managing triggers and cravings. And so I'm kind of speaking specific to the drinking aspect of this, because that's kind of the center point of this, but it expands from that too. There's a lot of ways that you can have personal growth in the aspect of, I'm going to stay, alcohol free for 90 days. But what else am I going to do in that time too? What am I going to do to occupy those times when I used to maybe go out and have a few beers after work or on the weekends or whatever? Maybe I'm going to connect with someone who is really into fitness in the group. We had this happen before with actually Ray. He just had shared this with me the other day. And one of the other guys, Alex, who was in the original Spark group, Alex was a personal trainer. He had a whole system dialed in. Very fit dude, younger than us. And, Ray they had chatted a little bit. Ray was looking like, what? I'm an athlete. I want to get back into getting healthy, getting in shape again. And so he hooked up with Alex, and Alex gave him a workout plan. And, that personal growth started to go because of the ability to network, which is our next one, but we'll get there in just a second. And so, Ray was able to do that, find some personal growth, not only in staying sober, but on his new path forward, being healthy, working out, getting different workout routines, all that good stuff. And that's just another example of how this kind of works. So personal growth, absolutely huge one. And like I said, that leads into number 4, networking. Beyond sobriety, mastermind groups often include individuals from diverse backgrounds and professions. So this networking opportunity can lead to new friendships, career connections, and personal development opportunities. And this is one of the big ones, I think, of what a group like this can offer. Like our Spark group, man, we had quite a few different backgrounds. Ray is a finance guy. I'm into podcasting and media and coaching. And Ed is a writer. He's an author. He's a speaker. You know, he's got books and marketing skills. He's a master chess player. He's actually been on the podcast, Ed Lattimore, if you want to go back and listen to some of his episodes, but he was a great part of the group. My buddy Ro, real estate, big time real estate agent out in the Colorado area, and also on, hobbyist of survival and going out into the woods and spiritual growth. Brian, part of Impact, business owner, entrepreneur, Jesus lover, and just a great spiritual dude who's trying to be of service and, build his business around that. Who else? I want to make sure I wasn't. Oh, Static, amazing musician, from New Jersey, used to tour, now is a recording producer in his own, home studio, and still traveling, speaking, doing all kinds of great work in the recovery community. And just, so my point to that is I'm trying to paint a picture for you of when we talk about networking, like you're bringing a group of guys together from a lot of different backgrounds. And it's a powerhouse when you get together and you meet and you organize it and you start to grow in that and learn from each other. And so that networking piece definitely leads to a lot of friendships, career connections, personal development opportunities. And then in a group like this, you all have that same concept of like, hey, I want to stay, alcohol free for 90 days too. So there's that piece of it as well, which obviously is huge for a lot of us. Okay. And so number 5, resource sharing. 5 reasons every man should be part of a sober mastermind group. Number 5, like I said, resource sharing. Members often share resources such as books, podcasts, different resources, different tools that can aid in whatever path that they're going down. Being alcohol free, going on health. You want to improve your health and wellness. You want to start a business. You want to grow a business. You want to write a book. You want to start a podcast. Whatever that looks like, there's opportunities there in a group like this where you can kind of expand on that and find some support and, obviously have a good time doing it and create some amazing friendships along the way. So, by participating in a group like this, you're going to find a supportive environment. It's going to promote growth. It's going to promote goal setting, accountability. And then, of course, lastly, the ultimate goal is to stay, in a first session, a 90-day mastermind group session is to stay alcohol-free for 90 days. So wanted to share some of that with you. I have had quite a few questions about that. We've had a lot of inquiries. I'm going to be sending some stuff out here in just shortly as following up on this next session that we're starting here in the fall. And so if you're dedicated, if you're motivated, and you think that you're ready to join a 90-day mastermind group, you want to quit drinking for 90 days, you want to improve relationships, you want to improve maybe your marriage, you want to improve your business, you want to create goals, you want accountability, you want to find some community with other like-minded dudes. We have a few spots left for the fall men's sober mastermind group. I think we have five spots right around there, 5 or 6 spots. We're going to try to do a total of 8, I think is kind of the sweet spot. We could take 10, but yeah, I think 8 is the spot. So I personally review all the applications. It's 100% confidential. So nobody's going to get your info or anything like that. If you're a good fit, I'll get back to everybody, of course, but if it's a good fit, I'll connect with you. We'll set up some time to chat more about what next steps are. And if you're interested, here's what you can do. I want you to go to thatsoberguy.com/masterminds. Or you can just go to thatsoberguy.com. You click on the Work with Shane tab, and then there's a mastermind little link there. And we'll put the link in the show notes. Fill out the short application. It's just a couple of questions. It gets emailed right to me, and then I'll provide further details as I review the applications. We've had quite a few already. I'm going over some of them just from previous people who reached out from the website. And now it's official. We're launching them this fall. It's probably going to be September-ish, right around there, maybe mid-September. is the date we're shooting for, but we'll have all that info as we continue to review the applications and get the group together and figure out what day it's going to be and all that good stuff too. So I hope something spoke to you today. Share the podcast with a friend. You can connect with us on Instagram at That Sober Guy Podcast. One more time, thatsoberguy.com/mastermind. You can fill out the application there. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. Peace, love, and respect. Keep your blood clean.